Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Sasannavadi Sattade Satare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Shri Gaur Bhaktavinda. Everyone please. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please, all the devotees, louder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare তোমাদের সামনে আসলে হয়তো ভর্তি হয়ে যাবে। Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnu Paramamsha Puri Brajaka Charja Ashwita Vishnu Shushama Pacharan in the Bhakti Vedanta Shami Shri Prabhupada Ki Ishkan Pratishtha Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnu Paramamsha Puri Brajaka Charja Ashwita Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Navadev Maya Pudham Ki Rajabhumi Shri Dhaman Ki Purish Thamket Radhanaturi Dham Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Srimati Kalashi Maharani Ki Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Bhakta Vrindagi Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindagi Jai Gaur Shidana Brahmanande Hari Hari Om. Bashi Gaur Puriha Thakur Bhaktivinoda offers his respects to Navadip Dham and the residents of Navadip Dham, who he describes as the family members of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are honored to today welcome you all to the closing ceremony, award ceremony of the Mayapur Institute Shashtik Courses Programs. This is the 23rd year of the Mayapur Institute's Shashtik programs here in Navadip Dham. We are honored to have with us today His Holiness Chandramauli Shami Maharaj and Srivas Prabhu. We also have our leaders from Namhata Padmanetra. We have our various speakers from the faculty members of the Mayapur Institute, which we will introduce to you in due course of time. And of course, we have our graduate students. And it is our great honor today to be able to bestow upon you these awards, Bhakti Shashti, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Shashti, Bhakti Vaibhav, which was the program originally established by His Exalted Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And in pursuance of Srila Prabhupada's order, the Mayapur Institute is honored to be able to conduct this ceremony today. We will begin. The program will continue as follows. We'll have our various invited dignitaries to speak to us on the topic of residing in Navadip Dham and studying Shastra and the degree program of Srila Prabhupada. And intermittently throughout those discussions, we will also be awarding you the respective certificates. To begin, I invite His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj to address the assembly. His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj, he is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He joined our movement in 1973. In the early 1980s, His Holiness established the ISKCON prison ministry in the USA, where he's spreading Nam Sankirtan movement to those who are incarcerated. That movement has spread all over the world. His Holiness is a regular visitor to Mayapur Dham, and being a scholar of Srimad Bhagavatam, he kindly every year teaches the Bhakti Vaibhav program and bestows his merciful association upon our Bhakti Vaibhav graduates. And I request His Holiness Paribrajaka Acharya, Sannyasi and ISKCON initiating spiritual master, His Holiness Chandramauli Shami Maharaj, to address the Krishna.
Om Gyan Timadam Dasya Gena Jana Savakaya Chaksu Undalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Name. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Suryavadi Pasyatya Devi Sutane Vanchakalpa Turubhischa Vivasi Dupe Vacha Pititanam Bhavane Vaishnave Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So in some small way, I'm very much happy to be a part of this program of education as established by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Some of us may not be aware of it, but actually this was Srila Prabhupada's vision for our movement to establish very concretely, philosophically, with great, what we say, credentials, our philosophical teachings as the foundation for everything we do in our execution of devotional service, which is our heritage. It's coming from the Parampara system and then given to us by Srila Prabhupada. Now, in a very formal and a very systematic way, that education is being given by the Mayapur Institute, which is a great credit to our entire movement and to the world also, because Vaishnavas are actually the most learned, and we need to understand that being in that position, we have to exhibit that, both in our daily activities and in our preaching activities also. So this education is, of course, the foundation for the execution of pure devotional service. When you have a working knowledge of this philosophy and a practical understanding of how to apply it in each and every situation, you're fixed in Krishna consciousness. You're fixed in Krishna consciousness. So this is more than just getting some educational carrier with a particular title that's connected to it. It is actually a principle of our advancement in devotional service, a main principle. But even more important that it's the principle of the expansion of our movement worldwide. We have the greatest philosophy. We're not proud or pretentious by saying that. It can, comparatively speaking, this can be understood that this philosophy, this knowledge, is not part of the three modes of material nature. It is completely transcendental, but can be applied in each and every situation in life. So going through the educational system and learning the different aspects of this knowledge, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Shastra, of course Bhakti Vedanta also. We also do that. But this particular session is just including Bhakti Vaibhava and Bhakti Shastra. Um, it's enough to keep us fixed in devotional service and in being established as a bona fide spiritual movement worldwide. Prabhupada had to prove himself in so many ways that what he was given was actually the heritage of Vaishnava culture, both not only to people within the culture, but I mean outside of the culture, but within the culture also. So Prabhupada went to great lengths to reestablish the whole protocol of the activities of Vaishnava culture. But the basis is the spiritual knowledge that is coming down through the Parampara system, ultimately coming from Krishna himself. So those of you who have taken this particular step, it's a tribute and it's an example for the rest of society that everyone, and I use that word with emphasis, must come and get a formal education in Krishna consciousness, both as a credential for the world in general. So when we go out and preach Krishna consciousness, we have something just like when you want to do something in the material world, they look at your situation or particular activity. So when we have the actual formal credentials of being authorized spiritual proponents of philosophical and transcendental knowledge, that gives us inroads to a lot of places for preaching, especially in the academic area of the world. And now I just want to divert a little bit away from that and say that we have to use this knowledge. This graduation ceremony is actually the beginning. It's not the end. It's the beginning, because now equipped with that knowledge, you have to expand that knowledge, because knowledge has value only when it's used. You'll see in the secular world, people have so much knowledge, they collect so many books. I've been to many professors' offices, and these books are stacked up on the walls. They don't even read them, they just collect them. Sometimes they look at them. And it looks very, prestigious to have all of this, this philosophy around. But the basic principle is it is actually a service to the spiritual master. It's a service to the parampara system. It's a service to Krishna to spread this knowledge to as much as we can. And as we spread this knowledge, we teach this knowledge, we preach this knowledge, our knowledge also grows. It's been actually proven by statistics, and everyone knows this. The example is that when you give something, you also get something from giving it. The more you give this knowledge, the more you know this knowledge, the more you can remember this knowledge, the more you can realize this knowledge. If we simply just go through the, educational, it's not hand for people in general. And as we use it, it'll grow. The more you preach, the more you learn. If you try to memorize things through book learn, part of you.
On behalf of the Mayapur Institute, we welcome His Holiness Radha Govinda Swami Maharaj, who's come here to bless the graduates. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Carry on, Maharaj.
And so I'll just be brief because there's other speakers. This is what I wanted to convey to the group, that now use it. Don't let it sit on the table as some kind of diploma that you have. You must use it for expanding Krishna consciousness, and this will also be a great benefit in your own progress in devotional service. As it says in the Krishna book, Prabhupada writes this: unused knowledge is like a clay pot that has water in with a crack in it. So what happens? That means that water is gradually seeping out. Therefore, in due course of time, it'll be gone. So this knowledge is actually, the actual gift of this knowledge comes by the use of this knowledge. In your own practice, and in, of course, giving this knowledge to everyone. So please take this seriously, not just you go to class, you get a nice little, certificate. It says I passed this way, I can get my second initiation. No, it's not about that. That's a byproduct. The real thing, just like what the Prabhupada chastised us for not knowing the philosophy, especially the book distributors. You can hear it in the 1976 lecture here in Mayapur. It was here in Mayapur. Prabhupada said, you're out there distributing my books, and if the persons you approach, they ask you, what's in the book? You say, well, our teacher, he writes and we sell, that's all. No, we have to actually be able to answer all questions, and at the same time, speak this knowledge in a very regular way. I mean, when I was in the Krishna movement, I wanted to preach, but I had no knowledge, and I never had a platform for preaching. So I would do Sankirtan, and would be two of us traveling in a van. So we would do Bhagavatam classes together. And that's how I began preaching, simply by speaking. His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj ki
Bhagavan Swami Maharaj Yeshua Agaman ki.
So I'll just conclude by congratulating all of you for taking this step. But this is, like I said, this is just the beginning. The real education comes when you deliver this knowledge to others and learn to live it yourself. Then Gyan becomes Vigyan, or realized knowledge. And realized knowledge is Krishna consciousness. Theoretical knowledge is just a step in that direction. Thank you very much.
Dedicated years of contributing to the Mayapur Institute project, like an ideal Shanyashi Abhayam Shatra Shankshuddhi Jnana Yoga Vivashtita, in spite of Maharaj, is very important. At this stage, we're men and ladies, so two separate batches. And so we'll call out the names of the certificates, and the students, as we go through the program, we'll invite our delegates to speak. And we have, this year we have 300, and we'll begin with the Bhakti Shastri graduates. Okay. So as we call your name, you can come up and take the certificate, and we'll request Lokanath Swami Maharaj and Chandramani Swami Maharaj to kindly bestow upon their graduates their official Bhakti Shastri title on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, and in that way bless this occasion. Hari Priya Ballabha Das, Bhakti Shastri. Prabhupada Priya Das Bhakti Shastri. As the students awarded their certificate, we would request the Assembly of Vaishnavas to kindly show some appreciation. Bhakta James. Bhakta James. Bhakta Leonard. We have many senior devotees attending our courses year after year, and also we have new devotees. And it's very wonderful that a facility like the Mayapur Institute is there to give training to devotees from all over the world. Bhakta Leonard, Bhakti Shastri. Jaghan. Jaghan. Mohan Murari Das, Bhakti Shastri. Govardhan Giriraj Das, Bhakti Shastri. We're honored this year to have in attendance Srila Prabhupada's disciple, Mishra Bhagavan Das, and we're honored to bestow upon Prabhu the Bhakti Shastri degree. Mishra Bhagavan Das. And we invite our Bhakti by Bhav graduates in English to receive their certificates from His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj. Garadha Pran Das Bhakti by Bhav. Krishna Vijay Das Bhakti Boy Bhav. Bhakti Boy Bhav. and we invite Padma Sundari Mataji, who's the leader of our ladies Shastrik department. We invite Mataji to kindly call out the names of the ladies Bhakti Shastri graduates.
Devakanya. She'll be collecting for Apurva Lila. Jules. Mataji, you are next, so please be ready. Mia, you are next, so you be ready. Jules. Mataji. Mia.
To show our appreciation for the effort that these students have taken for the last 4 months.
Premavati Shamapriya Devidasi. She'll be collecting for Sananda Devidasi also. Rita Vrinda Sharma. And Rita is collecting for Ambika and Lina also. Rita Vrinda Sharma. Surjana. Surjana Devidasi. Anna will be collecting for Shuddha Vidya and Vidyanand.
Very much, and thank you to Padma Sundari Mataji for her efforts in coordinating and personally teaching the Ladies Bhakti Shastri program. This year we're very honoured to have in our presence His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj. His Holiness is a direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada and a direct Sannyasi disciple of Srila Prabhupada. We know that Srila Prabhupada ordered His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj to start the Pariyatra program, which he has continued for close to years, very successfully. Maharaj is, of course, famous for his Harinam Sankirtan. Also, I can remember, I think it was about 10 years ago, Maharaj was a teacher in our faculty in the Mayapur Institute. I remember personally studying Sri Isha Upanishad under the guidance of His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj. He has set up the Bhaktivedanta Academy for Spiritual Sciences. And of course, at Pandharpur temple, he recently established the Prabhupada Ghat, which is a major achievement in the service of Srila Prabhupada. We welcome and invite to speak at this auspicious occasion Paribrajacharya Sannyasi and initiating spiritual master in ISKCON, His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj.
Shakaya Chakshurannalitamena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nami Namaste Saraswati Devi Bhagavani Vachari Vishesha Sannavani Pashyatari Shatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. M-I-K. Well, it used to be, or maybe it still is M-I-H-E. Maya Institute for Higher Education. And you all students ski also? Yeah. On this occasion, well, I could say it now also, or congratulations. Congratulations to all. And we are proud of you all. Really. The students of MISE, we are proud of you. Institutions like MI are very much essential. Essential means something that you cannot live or survive without. Yeah. Prabhupada ki. Prabhupada. Sorry, I'm afraid the throat is not cooperating for some days with me. So. Yes, Srila Prabhupada is also founder of MI and BIHE, and like he was founder of MI, he's also founder of MI. He gave us the books. They call the books are the basis. Once he was asked, why have you come? Why have you come to our country or the Western world? And Prabhupada said, I would like to see the change in the way people think. The way people think, I want to see the change. And he had lots of food for their thought. And that was going to come from the books of the basis, from Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Of course, you are only doing Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav. You haven't read Chaitanya Charitamrita level. Maybe some of you, okay, sorry. Yeah, we look forward to getting Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Vaibhav Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Bhakti Sarvabhauma.
That is still on my mind. I was just making presentation during ILS. One world, one family. One world. How many families? One family. One world, one family. We are but one family. And Gauranga or Krishna Kanhaiya Lal Ki, being our supreme and common father for all of us. That's how we could become brothers or sisters. It is a common father, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. So, all knowledge that we receive or we study is, of course, coming from Him. It's called Shabda Yonitvat. Shabda, the sound, that's the source of all knowledge. In the beginning, there was a word, and word was with God, and the word was God. This is also coming from the Christian tradition or Bible side. So, this human form of life is meant to realize who we are, who Sri Krishna is, or He's our Father, and we're all brothers and sisters. How old is knowledge? How old is the knowledge? No? Vedesha sarve aham eva vedyat. I'm to be known by studies of all the knowledge, all the Vedas. I'm to be known. To be known is the Lord. Subject of our knowledge are a lot of items, beginning with the Supreme Lord. So we know about the Lord, and then we become knowledgeable, right? We know about ourselves also, discover yourself, and we become knowledgeable. So, how old is the Lord? How old is the Lord? There was no time when Lord did not exist. And same case with us also, the soul. So there was no time. We can't trace the history back into the distant past. Oh, at this point, the knowledge came into being. The knowledge existed since Lord existed, and there was no time when Lord did not exist. So there was no time when knowledge did not exist. And I'm just trying to philosophize something here. Has been made manual. How to deal with the world, or how to fix the world, how this and that, how to repair the world or yourself. That is what the manual does. So, Lord created us. Well, don't ask when that happened. The Lord created the world, and at the same time, He gave us the whole knowledge. Brahma was born, first living entity, and Brahma Rudaya Adi Kavai revealed all the knowledge to Brahma. And then he heard or realized the knowledge, and he begins speaking, also talking. So we know from 4 heads of Brahma, the 4 Vedas have emanated. But they have not emanated from his brain. This is not, Vedas are not his brainchild. They existed before. He heard, and then he spoke also. That way he becomes the first acharya in our disciplic succession. Well, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarashiyo vidu sakalena mahata yogo. What? I was traveling to Mahabharata. I would not say coming to India. They were coming to Bharat. Bharat had lots of universities, like a Nalanda and Takshashila and this one and that one. Even a few hundred years ago, I just heard was conducted, and there were 700,000 Gurukul schools in India. That means practically every village, every town had at least one Gurukul school. The Britishers also came, the Muslims came. Oh, the Sanskrit is a dead language and it's a very difficult language. And the scriptures, all the pastime, this, there, they talk about. It's just a mythology. And the caste system, Mikale. He instituted a whole new education system in India, anti scriptures, anti religion, also as a medium of. Yeah, I was about to say the one Khilji from Middle East, the Muslim invader. He comes to India. We are the book of knowledge, or book of religion. Bible is the book of religion. Quran, the book of religion. So they may have the book, a book of religion, but we have library, other 11,000 students from all over the world were studying there. Huge, big library, and the entire camp, you could imagine that was destroyed. Despite all that, we still have 400,000 manuscripts, Pandulipis available. Tons of them have been destroyed or burnt, or this happened, that happened. But still, the Srila Prabhupada's program was knowledge, revive the way people think. Yeah, when Prabhupada went to the West, he traveled with Bhagavatam. The Srila Prabhupada Mahabhagavat traveled to America with Bhagavat, Granth Bhagavat. And he delivered Bhagavatam. And he taught Bhagavat. The job of Brahmins, I suppose you're all Brahmins, or by studying, one who's patan, one who learns and teaches, that is Brahmin. Brahmin is also compared head in the body. Body is at the top, right? No, head is at the top. So Brahmin is also at the top. So the Brahmins are called Uttam Anga. Anga means part. Uttam is top part of this society. Society as a body. The Brahmins are at the top. Uttam Anga. And they are the head. They are the head of the states. They are the guide, friends, philosophers of the society, or they work very closely with the kings, and hence the kings became known as, in the past, Raja Rishis. Raja and Rishi, they were a team. They worked in close cooperation. The rishis or munis or brahmins or sadhus, they had the shastra, and the raja, the kings had the shastra. Shastra and shastra. Shastra is scripture, you understand. Shastra is a weapon. So when is a weapon to be used and when not to be used and this and that is all guided by the shastras, sadhu shastra sharyas. The sadhus will interpret, sadhus will guide, instruct. The rishis, munis would do that, and accordingly, the kings would work closely. And then the age of Kali came into existence, and the segregation or separation has taken place. In the West, also the state and religion, they work hand in hand. That's how you say, state or church and the state. They work very closely. Then there was some corruptions and this and that, and then they got separated. So the same thing happened all over the world, including in India, and they were ignoring the Brahmins and scriptures, and as a result, then the Kali Yuga flourishes. Kali Yuga is known for its ignorance, and by ignoring, one becomes ignorant. And basically what human beings ignore is they ignore the Lord. Or as we sometimes, I was just there. He just ignored. They ignore the Lord like anything. And hence, the ignorance is here, and the age of Kali is spreading and flourishing. Really, in Srila Prabhupada, 1965, he boarded the plane, not the boarded the plane, boarded the boat, Jaladut, as he was instructed by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. You seem to be very intelligent. Who knows? Alai Babu bows down, and he had not even sat properly. Bhakti Siddhanta, you seem to be very intelligent. You propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world in English language. And then Prabhupada, lifetime in preparation. Part of that preparation was translation of Bhagavatam and some other scriptures he managed to translate in English. And then Prabhupada, the Senapati Bhalas. Then the boat has to be there, right? So he boarded the boat. He boarded the boat with ammunition, the Bhagavatam. The books are what? They are time bombs. And Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And he did for New York. Sometimes he say New York, the capital of the age of Kali. New York. Prabhupada meant that is a destination. And upon arrival, he started showering these bombs in the form of Bhagavatam, the holy name, including gulab jamuns, the ISKCON bullets, and when he had temples, temple commander, it sounds like a whole army thing. The boat and ammunition and bombs and temple commander and bullets and so special emphasis was of course on the studying literature, studying books, reading books, and preaching. Preaching is sense. Books are the basis, and preaching is essence. You study and then teach. So we have good times now, or finally, ISKCON is like 55, is close to 60 years, and now you have this luxury of taking some time off and come to Mayapur or online key. This is latest discovery, and we are here to continue with the coronavirus. Taught us and got us into this habit of online communication, teaching, everything online. So that online, and so we are able to accommodate or find some time for studies also. But I just remembered I have just taken sannyas, or Prabhupada gave me sannyas in Vrindavan. Then we went to Bombay, and I had this desire, Prabhupada, could you allow me to go to Vrindavan? For what? I would like to study your books, because now I'm going to get a microphone to talk into every now and then. I better study your books thoroughly and then preach. So Prabhupada said, no, you stay here, you study here, you preach here. He didn't allow me to take time off. Those were emergency days, beginning days. We were smaller in number, and there's a lot to do. And but finally, I think we are kind of settled and expanded, and we have bigger numbers. So now we could take some time off from our busy schedule, busy preaching, busy managing this, that, and study books, read books. Yeah, that's another thing. Books we have to study books, not just read books. You should read, I don't recommend. You should, one should read newspaper, but one should study books. There's a difference between reading and studying. And if that studying could be done in a group or with assistance of a teacher, that's even more the merrier or better, or that's icing on the cake to have that kind of luxury. We could get together and Nana Shastra Vicharine Kanipuno Sadharma Samsthapako Karina Tribhuane Anya Sharanya. So that was a 6 Goswami program. They would get together in the courtyard, side yard of Radha Damodar temple. All the pile of scriptures in the middle, they would sit around and they would do this Nana Shastra Vicharinaika, they would be studying, go deeper, and Prabhupada said, from different angles of vision you study, different angles. Yeah, so am I go on and on with this. Keep up the good work that MI is doing, teaching, and the good work that you all students are doing is to learn, study scriptures here, and go on studying and teaching. How long do we go on studying? Is it for 4 months we study, or okay, we study Bhakti Vedant, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedant, and Bhakti Sarvabhauma. And then is it over after maybe several years? What do you think? The study stops at any point? Or being a student, and Krishna is always expanding. More you know, more he expands, and more you have to know, and more he expands. So there's a competition. More and more knowledge is made available. So who will study that? It is for us to study. So this study program, reading Prabhupada's book study program. I want to say study now because I just talked about difference between reading and studying. This is a lifetime and is a Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Prabhupada was not really happy. For 7 days, we have 7 days recitation of Bhagavad Saptah, and finish by, and the next year you go for another Bhagavad. Prabhupada gave us study of scriptures every day, in fact, morning, evening Bhagavad Gita. At our times, Prabhupada days, we had every day Bhagavatam, every day Bhagavad Gita also. But we did not have so much time during the day to study, but Prabhupada wanted us to study books, but we were not doing enough to Prabhupada's satisfaction. Hence, Prabhupada complained, one thing that I'm not happy with you all is you do not read my books enough. So it was fine, or we have some excuse or some statements to defend our positions, why we were not studying enough. But let that complaint be not about you. It's enough now. You complain about us, his direct disciples. So there should be no more complaints from this generation, your generation. So read Prabhupada's books, study Prabhupada's books to Prabhupada's satisfaction, Prabhupada's full satisfaction. And you will be certainly be fully satisfied also. And not only satisfied, but realized. The Gyan will become Vigyan. And this is how we become knowledgeable, become eligible also. Go back to Krishna. So go on and on and on. Teaching, let I teach, and let you all over the world, come here and learn, or be wherever you are, and online also you could learn. And this will provide a very solid foundation to Hare Krishna movement. Not just philosophy, not just religion, but combination. Prabhupada wanted philosophy and religion. And you can understand what is religion here, what is philosophy. So this is complete. I also was saying a few days ago, as I was in TOVP, that the temples are also called Vidya Mandir. Temples are also known as what? Vidya Mandir. Vidya is taught, shared. Temples were seat of learning. So temple is also incomplete if the Vidya is not delivered. There will be just sentiments, and that will not last very, very long. So we need Deva VPK. We need temples, and we need those temples to become Vidya Mandirs ke. Where Vidya, where knowledge is taught, and of course, I'll not say that all those visitors coming, they also should be taught. They should also go away with some understanding, some learning lessons. Okay, so I'm happy that I think Prabhu Srila is watching, and you can see a smile on his face. Yes? You see? You know why is it? Seeing you all studying his books, that makes him happy, and he's also happy with the MI teachers and staff for continuing to teach his books. So for the pleasure of people, let's keep doing this more and more and more and forever. God, one day.
Sri Prabhupada is smiling, hearing, look at that Swami Maharaj's wonderful glorification of systematic Shastrik study in ISKCON. We are immensely indebted to Lokanath Swami Maharaj for his ongoing support of Shastrik study in ISKCON, and specifically his support of the Mayapur Institute. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Welcome His Grace Brajavilash Prabhu, co-director of Mayapur. We'll be hearing from him shortly. And other luminaries of the Brahminical Society of ISKCON present here. Bhakti Vasudev Swami, we'll be hearing from him shortly. We have Kalakanta Prabhu, a Minister for Cow Protection. Kalakanta Prabhu, his wife, Madana Jivani, is receiving her certificate. Along with Brahminical culture, cow protection is the other fundamental anga of the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam, and we're honored that the Minister of Cow Protection is participating in the Shastrik Degree Award ceremony today. We have many of our faculty members present here. Hari Leela Prabhu, who's from Hari Leela Prabhu ki? Bhakti Vedanta, in charge of the Bhakti Vedanta program. Akinchan Balaram Prabhu in the Russian department. Sunil Krishna Prabhu, Padma Sundari Mataji, Radha Prem Mataji in our Mataji's department. Also Vijay Krishna Prabhu, Vijay Krishna Prabhu, he's one general manager of Mayapur. He received his award today. Vamsi Vedan Prabhu, our Shastrik teacher and teacher training program. Also, we have present Chari Chandra Prabhu, Dhaka President and General Secretary of ISKCON Bangladesh. Thank you very much for attending and gracing the program today. We were hearing the relationship between establishing temples and Shastrik education from the lotus lips of His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj. Brajavilash Prabhu, we know, is leading up our development and establishment of the Temple of Vedic. The Prabhu himself predicted there would be Adbhut Mandir Prakash, from where the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be spread all over the world. Vrindavan Das Thakur explains that Chatur Dike Hoite Log Navadipe Jai Navadipe Porile She Biddarosh Pai. From all directions, people will from all directions. People will come to Navadip, because Navadip Porile, those who study in Navadip Dham, they get a taste for learning. So a very essential component of the development of the Temple of Vedic Planetarium is the ongoing development of the Mayapur Institute. People will come from all over the world to see the Adbhut Mandir, and they can come to the Mayapur Institute to get a complete education in Srila Prabhupada's books. We request Prabhu, our co-director of ISKCON Mayapur, to speak and share a few words on this important occasion. Thank you very much, Brajavilash Prabhu.
Bhakti Vedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pashtadeshatarini Ajana Lambito Bhujo Kanakavadatu Sankita Nikipito Kamalayita Vishwambaro Vidabaro Vidharma Polo Vande Jagatprekaro Karanavataru 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 Hare Krishna Srila Prabhupada Ki Mayapur Institute Ki First of all, I would like to take the blessings of His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Chandramouli Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vasudeva Swami Maharaj, Atul Kanta Prabhu, Padmanayan Prabhu, Hari Leela Prabhu, all of you assembled Vaishnavas here to speak a few words of inspiration on your graduation ceremony. Thank you. His Holiness Lokanath Maharaj was saying, this temple, if the temple doesn't have teaching as a core of its, what do you call, the core of its value, yes, core of its value, it doesn't have any purpose. Srila Prabhupada said this would be a teaching temple. This will stand for the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. This will stand for Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. This temple. Anybody who comes to the temple, see the temple, take the tour of the planetarium, see the museum, take the darshan of the deities. When he walks out, he will shave his head and become devotee. This is what Srila Prabhupada said. So that is what we are building. We are building the world's largest education temple or a teaching temple. And Mayapur Institute, Temple of Understanding. Maharaj is saying Temple of Understanding. You understand when you come to this temple about the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Yamai. Yamai in outside world it is called as Mission Impossible. Everybody knows Mission Impossible. Probably you might have seen it also. But that Mission Impossible is made possible in ISKCON by the founder Acharya's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada through his books and through Mayapur Institute, Padmanayan Prabhu and Atul Krishna Prabhu. Mission Impossible is possible only in ISKCON. So when morning he announced there are 300 graduates, I was thinking he is sending this 300 graduates on the battlefield on a short service commission to bring 300,000 people to Mayapur Institute. Give a big round of applause to Padmanayan Prabhu. I was talking in the graduation ceremony of Mayapur Academy. I was quoting a verse from Rupa Goswami in Padyavalli. He says that Vyadasya charanam dhruvasya chavayo vidya gajendrasya kya kubjaya kimunama rupam adikam kintat sudamno danam vakshakko vidurasya yadava pater ukrasya kim paurusham bhaktya tushtati kevalam nacha gunair bhakti prito madhava. A beautiful verse. Vyadas, Dharma Vyad, he was a butcher. But he was speaking the greatest Dharma. Dhruva Maharaj, he was 5 years old. Then he says, Gajendra didn't have any, no Vidya. He was the elephant. Kubja, she was ugly. She was not beautiful. Sudama, he didn't have any money. He was moneyless. Then we have Vidura. His Vamsha is Shudra, born from a maid servant. Then Ugrasen, he didn't have great valor. He didn't have great valor. But all of them had one quality. That is what attracted the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Madhava is Bhakti. Everybody had Bhakti. Everybody had Bhakti. So I hope in Mayapur Institute, along with studying Srila Prabhupada books, you got that Bhakti, that dedication to Sri Radha Madhava and His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And I am sure that Padmanabhan Prabhu, Maharaj is saying, you do Bhakti Shastri, you learn Bhakti here. Everything is Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, everything is Bhakti. Underlying thing is Bhakti. Hope you didn't miss that Bhakti here. And I hope Padmanabhan Prabhu made sure that you got it. And I could see also from here, who were assembled here to get a graduation, that you had Bhakti. That's why you could endure for how many years? 23 months. 4 months, okay. I was thinking 23 years. That's a pretty long time. But anyway, the 23rd years of doing this program. 23 years. In 2 years, it will be 23 years. Big round of applause. So, on behalf of the co-directors, His Holiness Jagpataka Swami Maharaj, His Grace Vivek Chaitanya Prabhu, His Grace Subhakshana Prabhu, and myself, we are very, very grateful for all of you to come to Sridham Mayapur and study Srila Prabhupada books here in Sridham Mayapur, in Mayapur Institute. We are very grateful to you. Hope you bring so many other devotees when you go back and preach and make Mayapur Institute as the primary learning center for the whole world. With this, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
We thank Brajavilas Prabhu for coming to Sri and injecting so much enthusiasm into the project. As a result of the association of Brajavilas Prabhu, we're all beginning to feel that opening of the TOVP was something that we're going to see with our own eyes in a short period of time. Thank you, Brajavilas Prabhu. Brajavilas Prabhu ki. Prabhu is also a learned Pandit of Shastra. And we also pray that here in the Mayapur Institute, in the near future, we'll be able to be present for the awarding Brajavilas Prabhu of his Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta degrees. We pray to see that day. Thank you, Prabhu. Let us, in the association of such exalted scholars and servants of Srila Prabhupada, let us bestow the awards of Bhakti Vaibhav and Bhakti Shastri upon the Russian department graduates. And we would request Chandramali Swami Maharaj and Brajavilas Prabhu. Brajavilas Prabhu, could you come this side and you can also help us bestow the award on the various students. Shunil Krishna Prabhu, who is supervising the Russian department, he will read out the names of their respective graduates.
Anandini Champakalata Devi Dasi. This is Bhakti Vaibhav.
Бхакти Вайбхава все онлайн получают.
Bhakti Vaibhav is online. Anuradha Bhava Devi Dasi.
She's also absent.
Yes, yes. Everybody. Okay.
Everybody absent.
Alina Ostrovskaya. Очень хорошо. Арона Найни Девидаси. Ачютаji Priya Devidasi. Будылова Ольга.
You can also join us.
We can show some appreciation.
Vai Pavadas. Vaishnava Avatar Das. Vaikunkha Palaka Das. Vaishnava Avatar. Palaka Das. Barlagauranga Das. Анастасия Измайлова. Индулата Девидаси. Илья Лим.
Show some appreciation.
Mathurin Davides. Maharama Krishna Das. Mahabalaram next. Mahabalaram Das. Nalini Chintamani Devidasi. Premadayani Radha Devidasi. Rasavilasini Devidasi. Rybakova Lilia. Юлия. Harini Kanchi Devidasi. Shaunaka Rishidas. Shama Madhava Das. Excellent. Yamuna Rasa Devidasi. Buchler Adriana. Excellent.
Our thanks to the Russian department for their efforts in providing such a wonderful program for the Russian Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Bhai program. We welcome His Grace Rameshwara Prabhu. And it's very special that Rameshwara Prabhu is attending for the first time the closing ceremony of the Mayapur Institute Shastri Award ceremony. Prabhu, we know, was leading Prabhupada's army of book distribution in the 1970s and received so many personal instructions from Srila Prabhupada in regard to publishing and the distribution of his books. And on this auspicious event of the award ceremony of the Mayapur Institute Shastri Degrees program, we request Rameshwara Prabhu to share with us some realizations. Rameshwara Prabhu ki.
Wow! Congratulations for all of you. Hari Hari Bo! Pancha Kalpa Drubhescha Kripa Sindhu Vyadevacha Patithanan Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Hara Srivasa Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I am honored to see so many devotees and to know how hard you studied Srila Prabhupada's books. It's overwhelming to me. In our life, sometimes we become so busy with our services that I was the first devotee in this whole movement to read the entire Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. All the volumes. But, there's a big but. I mean, I had to read them because I had to figure out what scenes do we want painted. And I was sending a devotee to India to photograph places of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So I had to figure what places I wanted for that. 17 volumes of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. No sleep. They brought me a little prasanam. I read the whole thing in 3-4 days. Non-stop. Last time I read from beginning to end Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. I only did it once. Then, after that, just select chapters and select purports. But if I had to take a course on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, I would start. What's your first certificate, Bhakti Shastri? So, by the grace of Prabhupada and many devotees pushing me, I'm going to be making my new home here in Mayapur Dham. And I'm starting. I took Bhakti Shastri many, many years ago. I'm taking it again when I move here. Starting at the bottom, very humbly working my way up. So I want to go through, I'm going to be here for 7 or 10 years. I think I can go through all of your certificates if I'm serious. You know, in my time, people didn't even finish school because the purpose of going to school in my time, when I say my time, 1960, when I was a kid. My time, the purpose of going to school was to find out what you want to do with the rest of your life. And as soon as you found out, you left school. That's what I did. I started one school for 1 year. But at the beginning of the second year, I met the devotees on Harinam. And I knew this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I left school. Anyway, this school that I will start again at the bottom, I will not leave. I don't know what they'll do. So the first morning walk that I ever had with Srila Prabhupada, I moved into the temple in 1970, and my first morning walk was 1971. Now, the complete, unabridged Bhagavad Gita as it is first came out in 1972. So we're on this walk in 1971. Nobody knew any Sanskrit from Bhagavad Gita. There was no book with Sanskrit. So we're on the walk and Prabhupada stops and looks at me. He knew I was a book distributor. The day I moved into the temple, I started distributing books to bookstores. So he looks at me and says, "Do you read my books?" And I said, "Yes." So in 1971, reading Prabhupada's books meant the abridged Bhagavad Gita, first 3 volumes of Bhagavatam, teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Nectar of Devotion, and Krishna book. So anyway, so Prabhupada says, "So you read my..." "Yes, Srila Prabhupada." "You read Bhagavad Gita?" "Yes, Srila Prabhupada." "Do you know this?" And he starts quoting me Sanskrit shlokas. And I was so embarrassed. I had no way of knowing what they were. There was no Sanskrit Bhagavad Gita yet. And I said, "Srila Prabhupada, I don't know those verses." He says, "Then you don't read our books." I had a special relationship where Prabhupada could yell at me for different reasons. I missed that so much. My guru yelling at me to correct me is so personal. I don't know if the teachers ever yell in this institute, but I have many stories of Prabhupada yelling at me how to do something. And when people ask me, what do you miss about Prabhupada? That's one of the things I miss so much, that I used to get yelled at. And I took it. He loves me so much. He's taking the time to yell at me and instruct me. Anyway, I'm just awe of your studies. But now I have to ask all, are we studying? Are you studying for yourself? Or do you have a different goal? You're studying so you can give this to others. It's something to deeply reflect on. I know many scholarly devotees, they study Prabhupada's books like anything. But then I ask, what are you doing with all that wonderful nectar? Well, I hold classes, my family, and I was born a Sankirtan devotee. That's all I know. When I came to this movement, it was all about pushing others ahead of me to Krishna, getting the seed of Bhakti the Beej into them and pushing them ahead of me. That's the principle of Sankirtan. So with all this wonderful transcendental knowledge awarded certificates for, please don't forget, we are not Bhajan Anandis. We are in the line of Goshti Anandis. We are preachers. Above anything else, if someone asks, what is your identity? To Krishna as a preacher, giving Krishna to them as a preacher. Lord Chaitanya said, this Sankirtan movement, this Jagya, this is the life of transcendental knowledge. What does that mean? That means much, much more than just academic study. The life of transcendental knowledge means transcendental realizations awaken when you're preaching. The more you preach, the more you see everyone as a part of Krishna. If you don't go out and preach, you're not going to see everyone as a pure spirit soul, a son and daughter of Krishna. Krishna wants them back. You're not going to feel that anxiety. But you can start having those feelings, those realizations through Sankirtan, the life of transcendental knowledge means realization, not just academics. So I pray for all of you that you will take this hard-earned knowledge and now pray to Krishna with all your might. Please let me give this to others. Let me not just keep it for myself. And then Prabhupada will bless you so much. Your Guru will bless you, but Srila Prabhupada, he will love you so much. I'll tell you one last thing. Once, when Prabhupada was staying in Los Angeles now in 1973, every day, because I was Sankirtan leader, I would write out the names of devotees and their book scores. And at night, because they came back late, I would run over to the bottom of Prabhupada's stairs in Los Angeles Temple. Prabhupada's quarters are up one flight of stairs. And I would signal to Brahmananda. He was the secretary. Here's the scores. And I would wait at the bottom of the stairs for him to read them to Srila Prabhupada, just in case Prabhupada might have said anything. And then I could share it with the great book distributors that we had. And so one day, Prabhupada told Brahmananda, give me that piece of paper that Ramaswar wrote out. And he took his pen in his lotus fingers and he wrote a handwritten note. My dear boys and girls, you are sacrificing so much just to distribute this transcendental knowledge. Surely, my Guru Maharaj will be pleased upon you 1,000 times more than me. And that is my satisfaction. I have his handwritten note from Prabhupada. And then he wrote, and signed his name, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. And then underneath he wrote the letters NB, British style, note below. Everyone should join the Sankirtan party as soon as possible. So I've reflected on this now for 50 years that I have this handwritten note from Prabhupada. And I'm thinking, we all have different gurus. So if Prabhupada says his guru will be satisfied if you're preaching 1,000 times more than Prabhupada, I think it's not an exaggeration for me to say this. Your gurus will be satisfied. Prabhupada will be satisfied, let me say it right, at least 100,000 times more than your guru. And that is your guru's satisfaction. So please take this knowledge and share it with the world. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Rameshwara Prabhu, we are overjoyed hearing you express your desire to become a Dhambasi. We pray that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fulfills that desire. And we're awestruck to hear that you plan to enroll in the Mayapur Institute courses and take your study program. That will be our greatest honor to facilitate your
I
studies.
start at the bottom. I am the footstool for all of you.
Rameshwara Prabhu. Dino Batsal Prabhu, are you ready to share with us His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj's words of encouragement? Do you need a couple of minutes to get that set up? Whilst we're just preparing for the recording of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, we request Bhakti Bashadev Swami Maharaj. We thank Raghunath Swami Maharaj for kindly gracing the program. And we pray that Maharaj continues to bestow his mercy upon the Mayapur Institute.
What is the highest certificate?
Bhakti Raghunath Swami Maharaj ki.
Yeah, of course. Lord the Srimati. He rips out of our hearts anything material.
Shri Bhagavan ki. We request His Holiness Bhakti Vasudev Swami Maharaj, who is a graduate of the Mayapur Institute. When Maharaj sees me, he says, I am your student, and this is a great honor of my life to have such a devotee so exalted. He's a PhD in management and decision sciences, and he's preaching in academic fields, Krishna consciousness all over the world. We request His Holiness Bhakti Vasudev Swami Maharaj to share with us some words of inspiration for this year's graduates.
So, thank you very much, Chairman and staff of I would like to appreciate the sustainable relationship that I have established with my teacher, Ato Krishna Prabhu. I remember when I came to India for the first time, was on multiple like multi-mission of purpose, multi-purpose India. I came to India in 2008 after staying in the movement for over 20 years as a brahmachari. So I came to India because I was coming to take students. And then it was required that we have to do a back to Sanskrit.
So I enrolled with the Mayaport Institute. And at the same time, I was having 5 presentations in 2 months, 5 academic presentations in 2 months. And I remember vividly how one of those conference presentations was conflicting with one of the exams of the Mayaport Institute. So I complained to Krishna Prabhu that see, this exam is conflicting with my conference presentation. And I remember vividly what he told me. I was expecting he would tell me, better stay around and do your exams. Then he told me, come on, go for your preaching. We are training all of these devotees, at least to come to the level to apply this Krishna consciousness philosophy and construct in addressing world problems and issues. I remember that vividly. So the whole idea echoing what wonderful master Rameshwar, spiritual master Rameshwar, echoing also the words of Lokana Swami Maharaj and the co-director Brajlas. The whole idea of the Bhakti Sastri is not just a process of knowledge accumulation or spiritual knowledge accumulation. It's not a process of becoming advanced in paratology. You know what paratology is? Who knows what paratology is? Now, the paros also repeat statements. Paratology comes from the word paros. When the paros are repeating statements, they don't even understand. The idea of the Bhakti Sastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, is that our devotees become practitioners or Bhakti Vaibhava practitioners, Bhakti Sastri practitioners. And beyond even that, they have to disseminate the knowledge they have acquired in practice and theory to others, so that others also will have a chance to come to Mayapur to purify themselves, to acquire the knowledge, the practical knowledge, and at the same time have a chance to be able to have purification on the dam. So what basically is happening, I think I mentioned this before during the what is it called? At the beginning of this the opening program, I was mentioning also how when I came to Mayapur Institute for my Bhakti Sastri, I saw their methodologies of teaching, and that methodology basically is what I studied when I was doing my master's. It's called community of inquiry, because the student is not considered a blank slate. There is knowledge sharing, and the student also has a chance to be able to imbibe more cultural knowledge, more spiritual knowledge, and at the same time be able to learn more. The teacher and the students, they share information together. And so the process works so perfectly that no one is regarded as a blank slate. And therefore, this motivates the students to even put more energy in the learning process. The idea of just going to the classroom to download on the students what the teacher has known or what the teacher has put in his brain is boring. But in the community of inquiry, like we have in the Mayapur Institute, this methodology encourages even the learners to become more inquisitive, more critical, more caring in their process of inquiry and learning. And so we are very much blessed by the very setting we have here in Mayapur, that by the mercy of Padmanayan and the staff of the Mayapur Institute, we are able to get so many devotees. How many? 300? 300, almost, almost 800, almost 400. So that is an amazing accomplishment. You don't have people graduating from the university, say even undergraduate, that number. When you come to the master's level, very few. At PhD, maybe after 3 or 4 years, we have one person graduating from the faculty. Here we have 300. So congratulations to Mayapur Institute. And congratulations. And congratulations to all of the students who endeavored from the beginning to the end. Because you may think it's so cheap, but I have also seen people come to my airport to embark on battery surgery, and so many others, some type of disturbances occurs, and they leave. They abandon their studies and leave. But you endeavor to the last. To endeavor in the learning process until you get your accomplishments done. It's not an easy job. I'm a professional teacher, I'm an academic, so I know. And so again, I congratulate all the students for having achieved their goals. And we hope that you become more useful to yourself, more useful to your communities, and more useful to ISKCON international body in helping to spread the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. Mayapur Institute Key.
Thank you very much, Bhakti Vasudev Swami, for your inspirational words and blessing the occasion today, blessing all of the graduates. Let us hear His Holiness Jagadaga Swami Maharaj. Jagadaga Maharaj Ki. His Holiness Jagadaga Swami Maharaj has attended since the very beginning of the Mayapur Institute. He's attended almost every closing ceremony. I remember in the years when we were in the Grihastha Para, His Holiness would come and visit the classes and participate and see what the students were doing in their various group exercises and see their presentations. He's always been an unlimited source of support for the Mayapur Institute, and we're honored that Maharaj is sending us a message of inspiration today. His Holiness Jagadaga Swami Maharaj Ki.
Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Auravadiva, Nardine, Nivishesa, Sundavadi, Paschacharya, Nardine. So I'm very glad reintroducing the Mayapur Institute, Bhakti Shastri, and Bhakti Vaibhav graduates. This is it looks and get these degrees. These degrees show that you have studied and understood the books. I saw also how he was translating and writing his reports every night from 12 midnight on to maybe 3 in the morning. Every night, very later. I was only go for a walk after 5 in the morning. So we like to associate the Shilvala, and we can do so by studying his books. I'm very fortunate. I wanted to inspire my outstanding devotees to study the Prabhupada book. I studied Shiva Bhagavatam, and other Bhakti Bhagavatam. I'm now studying the Bhagavatam, and I Bhakti Vedanta. Understand that, although I read many something new, I am a candle he said we should have super senses. The automatic senses are colored by sensations, either pleasant or bad. What actually hallucinating for is the purified spiritual senses. I had not remember hearing before, although I must have read it. But now, I cannot very much alive. I like that. I read the books again and again and again, and I always get something new. I use this super senses in my preaching. So very interesting. I like to thank all of you students for studying from our books, getting a rock success, like the right round degrees, keep right on, studying the rest of the film all the time, take time to get out, get out. Hare Krishna.
Srila Jagadashani Maharaj, in his Navadip Dham Mahatmya, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that karma buddhi jogeo jai Navadipe jai. If one comes to Navadip for karma or jnana, nara janma arshe jan nahi bhai, he doesn't take birth again. What to speak of someone who comes to Navadip Dham to study Srimad Bhagavatam? Srila Prabhupada ki. His Grace Srivas Prabhu has been regularly visiting and teaching in the Mayapur Institute, I think, for 15 years. And Prabhu has such administrative responsibilities. He joined the movement in 1981. He was regional BBT manager, regional secretary. He took the Bhakti Shastri course in Mayapur Institute 2008 and the Bhakti Vaibhav course in 2013. He's currently regional secretary for West Africa, a GBC deputy, member of the task assessment for sannyas candidates, executive member of Sustainable Vaishnav Community Development, zonal supervisor for West Africa, and a global duty officer. Amidst this tremendous amount of administrative and leadership responsibility in ISKCON, Srivas Prabhu is also a wonderful teacher of Srimad Bhagavatam, and we thank him for teaching in the Mayapur Institute and blessing the graduates today. We request Srivas Prabhu to share with us a few words of inspiration.
Actually, it is a great honor. In 2007, in a dream, my Guru Maharaj instructed, go to my institute and study Bhakti Shastri. My Guru Maharaj left the planet in 2005, Bhakti Maharaj. At that time, I had no idea of studying in my institute. But when we had the first anniversary of his disappearance, that very night, I had a dream. We were in a classroom setting, and then a number of students. Then I saw our teacher coming from a distance, and I recognized that it is my spiritual master. So I left the class, and I ran to meet him. And I took his briefcase. He used to have a silver shining briefcase. He was holding that briefcase. So I ran and I met him and I took the briefcase from his hand. And then we came back to the classroom and he started to teach us Bhagavad Gita. And he was emphasizing that every one of you in this class must study Bhagavad Gita very thoroughly in the dream. So when I woke up, I understood the message. Do Bhakti. So
I applied to Mayapur Institute and I was accepted. So I came to Mayapur and I studied Bhakti Shastri. Atul Krishna Prabhu was our teacher. Honorable. And then we graduated. Then Pamanaya Prabhu said, Prabhu, why don't you come back and do the Bhakti Vaibhava? I said, I'm very busy with many things in West Africa. He said, please, you can just end up with Bhakti Shastri. So on his request, I came back and I continued with Bhakti Vaibhava. And as soon as I finished in 2013, Pamanaya Prabhu approached me again and said, Prabhu, why don't you teach Bhakti Vaibhava? So I said, Prabhu, I have so many things to do. But he said, well, I'm that one of your duties. And so since 2013, I've been part of the. But I want to say that actually teaching gives. The teacher must know the subject in order to teach. And therefore, the teacher is the first student. So, I often tell students that actually all of you should become teachers. If you want to relish Bhagavatam, if you want to relish the Bhakti Shastras, then you must become a teacher, study constantly, and share the knowledge with others. And in fact, as all the previous speakers said, sharing this knowledge should be our goal. If you study knowledge and you don't share it, it will dry up. But if you constantly share it, it increases unlimitedly. So we'd like to congratulate all of you for taking the trouble to go through all these studies, but please do not just put it in your bag. Don't just collect a certificate and store it in your bag. Apply the knowledge, share the knowledge, and encourage others to take to this knowledge. Is the purpose of studying the scripture in order to share. Thank you very much, Mayapur Institute Key.
Thank you very much, for your exemplary leadership and your support of the Mayapur Institute. We've been hearing the important relationship between cow protection and Brahminical culture, and we're fortunate to have with us today the Minister of Cow Protection, Kalakanta Prabhu, and we request him to share a few words on this most auspicious occasion. Kalakanta Prabhu.
It is a pleasure to be here in Sri Mayapur Dham, and I humbly pray that I get your blessings to be a resident of this auspicious place. I came here 12 years ago to educate my children in Sri Mayapur, and I was about to do my master course in organic agriculture, but my wife said, forget it, let's go to Mayapur and educate our children in Krishna consciousness. And I'm very grateful that she took the degree of Bhakti Shastri, as Rameshwar Prabhu was encouraging us to all do. Perhaps I should also enroll here, Prabhu, and take that Bhakti Shastri degree. And just to say, I came first time to India in 1981. My father is a farmer from 4 generations of farmers who took care of cows. And he came to Ikrisat in Hyderabad, and he was in Cambridge in the UK. And the one thing which was very strong on my mind was the beauty of an Indian village. I visited a village in Andhra Pradesh, and the whole village was one family, one unit. It was so peaceful. I still have on my memory that beautiful place. And I'm sure many of you have experienced that reality. So in 2015, the GBC body and also a group called Vaishnava Sustainable Community on the same day asked me to lead this initiative.
So the GBC body was asking me to act as the global minister for cow protection, agriculture, and Srivas Prabhu is here along with many other Vaishnavas, Bhakti Tira Damodara Maharaj, Bhakti Raghava Swami, and Sambhav Prabhu, and they asked me, would you be the chairman of this initiative? Now, that is supposed to be the Varnashram developed for our institution. And I told them, I'm a very small Sivak. I'm not sure if I have the caliber you're asking me, but I'll do one thing. I'll prepare the economical basis for that. And while you study that, if you look at your Bhagavad Gita study, Krishi, Goraksha, what is in the middle? Goraksha. So from your studies, you know, whatever is in the middle, just like in the Bhagavad Gita, you have karma, the first 6 chapters, jnana, the last chapters, and bhakti is in the middle. So mother cow sustains Brahminical culture. And that's what I presented at the ILS. For the first 8 years of my service, I traveled extensively to Australia, Russia, here in India, to America. And I wanted to understand what are the challenges each zone faces. Because I can't sit in Mayapur and teach farming to the whole world. They're all different climates, all different zones, all different cultures. And the culture of India is the most beautiful one. Just to give you an idea, in 1930, the British Empire that His Holiness Lokanath Swami was saying tried to break the Indian culture, sent one British gentleman to India. He had 2 qualities. Do you know what they were? He was a Britisher and he was humble, a rare combination. But he had both. And because he was humble, he came to teach chemical farming to India, thinking this is a primitive country. What did he find? The farming of India was producing double of what he was trying to teach. So he said, I can't teach this. Instead, he became a student. And that was the beginning of the organic farming in the world. So organic farming started here, confirmed in a glorious note, from a humble teacher who took it to the world. And that farming was based on the cows and how the Indian population was so smart in taking every morning the cow dung into the fields and feeding the soil. So that model is very beautiful. And today, there's a huge movement around holistic management, a grazing system. The father of this system started in Africa, and he killed 40,000 elephants because he thought the elephants were disturbing the grazing system. This system is the favorite system of the North American beef industry. Why? Because if you put the cows in that system, there is nothing there to grow except the cows. And if you look around, the only crop in that system are the cows themselves. So that's a beef industry technology to generate the soil. What I want to say is we have traveled to many places. And now we'd like to start and be a partner to the Mayapur Institute and teach with you. The Cow Protection Ministry would like to bring to life your traditional Indian system of farming which taught the West how to become organic. And that system is lying with you, but is being forgotten very quickly. So what I'd like to finalize with is, I'm very grateful that you all studied and Lokanath Swami spoke about the kings and the brahmanas. Now we need the Vaishyas. We need the Vaishyas to support the Varnashram system, because without a head, all of this is lost. There's no Krishna consciousness. Without a king, there's no protection. And without a Vaishya, there's no stomach. So our system has to be such a system that when you talk to a farmer, he says, yes, your system makes sense to me. I want to do it. And you become preachers to them, and they adopt your system. That is what the ministry has been trying to do. So I'd like to find that I'm very grateful that the Mayapur Institute is such a noble center of teaching, and that is ready to teach the whole world. Jayapataka Swami, Rameshwar Prabhu, all becoming your students. That is teaching the whole world how to become Krishna conscious, the ultimate goal of ISKCON. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Thank you very much, Kalakanta Prabhu. আমাদের গৌড়ীয় বৈষ্ণব পণ্ডিতগণ আপনাদের সার্টিফিকেট কিছুক্ষণ পরে দেওয়া হবে। এই উত্তম আমাদের অনুষ্ঠান উত্তম অঙ্গ এটা শেষ কালে হবে। The Bengali Bhakti Shastri Bhakti Bhagavad certificates will be given shortly. At this stage, we're going to invite His Grace Padmanabhan Prabhu, the chairman of the Mayapur Institute, to address us. I remember 23 years ago when Janmashtami Prabhu began the Mayapur Institute in the housing area here, and I was fortunate to teach in the first course. I remember Bhakti Prem Shami Maharaj was one of our students. We had 3 students in the Bhakti Shastri program. At that time, I had envisioned that I would be able to participate in a closing ceremony where 370 students would be graduating. It is an unbelievable event that I'm fortunate today to participate in. And so much of this achievement we credit to the ongoing determined effort of Dr. Ryan Prabhu, who for close to 15 years has dedicated his life to the development of the Mayapur Institute, both campus development and expansion of the academic programs. And it has been a great honor for me to be able to serve alongside Padmanabhan Prabhu over the years. We're looking forward to his sannyas ceremony, which will be held in due course of time. And we pray that after taking sannyas, Prabhu will also continue to shower his blessings on the Mayapur Institute and give such valuable leadership. And we invite Padmanabhan Prabhu to share with us some words of inspiration on this most auspicious day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's a very happy day for me today because I'm also one of the students of Mayapur Institute. I welcome Santirpa Mataji. Thank you all the way from Malaysia. She's here. She is one of our leader, devotee in Malaysia, who is helping us to conduct this Shastri training program in Malaysia. Many of you may know His Grace Tyaga Chaitanya Prabhu. I need to recognize them also because he is also here. Tyaga Chaitanya Prabhu, who initially got involved with our senior members in our organization to develop this Shastri training program for ISKCON devotees. And now I'm also kind of, keeping him with us in Malaysia, and also from time to time I get some consultation from Prabhu. So they are with us. We're going to do furthermore study program in Malaysia. We are making some plans. Anyway, so that is another side of the program. So why I spoke this is, Prabhupada, he very much stressed on one point: unity in diversity. And you can see this year also in our ILS program, our leaders have been very much stressing on this point of bringing unity in international society for Krishna consciousness. International society, we have got devotees from all parts of the world who come from different culture, different their practice background. But Prabhupada wanted we should find a clue how we can unite everybody under one umbrella. So that's how we can see. Today when I was hearing how Loknath Maharaj, our Brajvilas Prabhu, they're stressing on this point that you all are here, have completed a Shastrik training program in the level of Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. Some of you are already studying Bhakti Vedanta. Unofficially also some of you are studying Bhakti Sarvabhauma with us, study of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So what is that? What is the time principle here? The time factor value. What is that? Bhakti. So in Mayapur Institute, our main focus have been to help our devotee to practice what they have been learning in this classroom environment. From time to time, for many years, I have been hearing both, plus and minuses, positive and negatives. But I can tell you, when I hear some negative feedbacks, I take this as a signal for me, oh, here is a room for improvement for me, how I can do it better. But at the same time, I have seen over the period of so many years since I got involved after the Master Prabhu handed over to me in 2009, many devotees, they have become more grounded, not only in their own practice of Krishna consciousness, they have been taking this knowledge out and distributing in their literacy ground to inundate this flood, love of Godhead, by giving proper understanding of Prabhupada's books. As we know, every morning Brajvilas Prabhu, he announces that Mayapur is world headquarters, Srila Prabhupada's place of worship. What does it make Mayapur world headquarters? Yes, this is the journey we have started, that by making this Shastrik training program available in an appealing, understanding and easygoing manner, so that devotees from all over the world can come under this one Bhakti umbrella, and every year they should come to Mayapur, they should celebrate not only their study but their release of Bhakti by staying in Mayapur, participating in the festival and many more things. So all this success has come to Mayapur Institute because of the incredible, unparalleled contribution given by our elite teachers. In Mayapur Institute, you can see, of course, many of our teachers are not here with us today, but some of, just like Prabhu, our Krishna Prabhu, he mentioned about Shivas Prabhu. You can see our Harila Prabhu is here, and many other teachers or mothers are also here. They have their own responsibilities, area of responsibilities. But very interesting thing you can see is that the devotees have found their taste in Shastra. Many times I have got some feedback. Oh Prabhu, when this devotee taught, such a wonderful explanation, I was really, totally drawn into this subject, and I did not realize how these 3 hours passed by. This is where you can see the value our teachers are carrying and distributing to all of you. So on this day, I would say, alongside recognizing the students' potential, our esteemed teachers, sannyasis, our leaders in the movement, encouraging you all to take this knowledge forward, make the society a grand success as desired by Srila Prabhupada. But in all these things, the most important ingredient, the value addition, is being done by our Mayapur Institute teachers. So before we continue, as Prabhu said, that we should continue our Bangla Bhakti Shastri, and Bhakti Vaibhav degree certificate distribution later on. So before we continue that with that program, I would like to recognize the contribution of the teachers by offering them a token of appreciation on behalf of all the students who are present here. As you know, in our Vedic civilization, students they go to the school, they study, and dakshina to the teachers. But I want to share this with you because you should also know how is our vision and what actually we would like to achieve in future. We do charge some remuneration from our students. You know, from some students we take some for some courses which are less amounts, for some courses which is highest amount is 12,500 rupees. That's for 3 months. And for this money, we are trying to uphold this institution. I don't have to give further detail. Those who are involved in running some organizations, you may have a better understanding of what could be the maintaining, managing the organization. So all this money is being utilized to kind of maintain the status quo. But alongside, you can say we have a big responsibility to establish a world-class campus. Prabhupada wanted devotees from throughout the world will go there to take lesson in this important subject. That was Prabhupada's desire. So we are also simultaneously traveling to the world and begging, with a begging bowl. We go out and with their support, we are kind of establishing this campus. But nevertheless, whatever we are receiving from the students, we are trying to ensure that every single penny is utilized for the maintenance of this institution. So from student side, we would like to express our gratitude to the teachers because without recognizing teachers' gift, what we learn, we will not think this as an opportunity on behalf of all my students to invite all our teachers to accept their Guru Dakshina and give their blessings to all of you so that now you are all ready as Prabhupada's army to go out and inject this value to whoever you meet in your locality. Also, one more point I would like to bring to your attention that in Mayapur Institute, we are not now located in Mayapur. We have got branches all over. Just now, we are doing courses in USA, we are doing in Canada, we are doing in Bhakti Vedanta Manor Temple, although they have some training program. We have now entire South Africa is with us on Bala Bhagavatam. We are doing courses in Singapore, in Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia also. There are many different programs up running under the leadership of Mayapur Institute. My dear devotees, come forward. Join your hands with us. If you feel you would like to start something, we are there to support you. There are many other programs which we have already started, not only this Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vayo, or Bhakti Vedanta, other programs also you can take forward and you can start teaching these courses in your locality. And Mayapur Institute is always there with you to support and hold your hand to make a pleasing journey to back to Godhead with all your devotees who will be preaching. So thank you very much. So it's a great honor to now, first of all, I would like to invite our lady teachers. As you know, in Mayapur Institute, we conduct gender separate program for the ladies, our lady teachers they teach. And then for the gents, we have got gents teachers. In this year, we had 4 lady teachers who taught English, Ladies Bhakti Shastri program. And we had ladies from Russia who taught to the Russian Bhakti Shastri students. So I would first like to request the ladies to kindly come forward and accept this as a dakshina given to you from the students and bless them so that the learning they have accepted from you is going to bear the fruits to please our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. First, I would like to request Her Grace Padma Sundari Mataji, who is our Learning Bhakti Shastri Course Coordinator, to come for and receive the gift from Rameshwar Prabhu. Rameshwar Prabhu will hand over the gift to the ladies. Dibelila Mataji, Ejima Dibelita Mataji is the Bhaila Prabhu is better. So she had been very diligently involved in Mayapur Institute project, teaching, helping us in correcting papers in many other ways. Her contribution has been incredible. We have Yugal Priti Mataji. She is also one of our ladies of the Shakti teachers who have been continuously giving us her support in every year, taking this pen of teaching. Sometimes she was ill, but now I think she is getting better in her wealth, in her health. Please, you all pray to Lord Nrsimha so she can maintain a good health to the better teaching in Mayapur Institute. So from Russian section we have Radha Prema Mataji. Is she here? Radha Prema Mataji? Or she left? She left, huh? Maybe she is not here. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rameshwar.
Thank you. Wow. Amazing. Everything about this is amazing to me.
The spiritual world is amazing. Now I would like to request, as you know, when we started this program in Mayapur in 2000, Janmashtami Prabhu, who started single-handedly, and who was assisting him at the time, as you know, any organization you start, it starts with one or two people and who really struggle very hard to ensure that what they are intending to establish is being established. I don't know how many of you have started any organization in your life, any new venture you have started. Those who have started, you can understand from this hint that how much hard labor, sincerity has been put into bringing Mayapur Institute what it is today. And one of the core, or you can say the only person standing next to Janmashtami Prabhu on those days is His Grace Atut Krishna Prabhu. And Atut Krishna Prabhu, since then, he has been continuously giving his input to the development of Mayapur Institute, and I feel very fortunate to serve with Prabhu, and I'm expecting long-term relationship with Prabhu so that we can bring the difference that Prabhupada wanted in the matter of spiritual studies. So now let us request His Grace Atut Krishna Prabhu to come forward and take his gift from His Holiness Chandrapati Swami Maharaj and give his blessings to our students so that they can become potential teachers of Krishna consciousness. Yes, give a big hand. Don't stop. We have Atimchan Balaram Prabhu. Please come forward. He is also our teacher. Definitely we can say many words about Prabhu. Prabhu has been involved in doing the secretarial service for Mayapur co-directors. He is sometimes involved with GVC members also. And still he finds his time to teach in Mayapur Institute. Yes, Harila Prabhu. Harila Prabhu, when he was in Middle East, he was studying there, he was our student. When he came to Mayapur, I told him, Prabhu, you have done enough of service in the company. Now you are a graduate. Why don't you come and teach in Mayapur Institute? And since then, Prabhu have been continuously teaching, and those who have been studying under Prabhu, you know how particular, emphatic he is when it comes to elaborate on Prabhupada's purport. And I requested a few years back to Prabhu that you should develop one Krishna course to teach to our Mayapur Institute students. And under his guidance, him and various development and some other ladies, they have Hare Krishna. Yeah. So this course is developed and is being taught under Prabhu's leadership, and we are looking forward to having more students to understand the responsibilities they need to handle being a Krishna conscious Grahastha. So, all glories to Prabhu. Please come forward, take your gift, and at the same time give your blessings not only to Bhakti students who have been studying under you, under your care, as become successful Krishna conscious Grahasthas. Is Sunil Krishna Prabhu here? Okay, he left. Okay, so now I'll just call His Grace Bamsi Badan Prabhu. Bamsi Badan Prabhu is one of our strong and lifelong teacher in Mayapur Institute. Prabhu has been coming every year, and he's very simple. You can see those who have been studying with Prabhu, when you see him, like you see, he's just sitting there. He goes unnoticed, but when he opens his mouth, that's how you know a Vidwan, right? So Bamsi Badan Prabhu is very famous in delivering his talk to our students in a very practical manner. He not only teaches the Shastri program, but also he teaches teacher training program. This time he also gave a seminar on Madhurya Kadambini. His depth of spiritual understanding is unfathomable. Thank you, Bamsi Badan Prabhu. It's my great fortune. Oh, his name is Kavichandra Maharaj ki. It's a great honor to have spontaneous coming of these wonderful Vaishnavas and all these students on this auspicious day. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Bamsi Badan. Definitely, if I keep on speaking a lot, definitely there's a shortage of time, but in nutshell, I would say, all our teachers are signing gems. And because of their credibility, Mayapur Institute is flourishing. So one of our signing gem, I would like to invite now His Grace Srivas Prabhu. He is a very good counselor also, you should know, by the way. If you are having any trouble, you should also go to Prabhu sometime. Because of his long-standing leadership in ISKCON, he has learned he has got many realizations to guide you on your personal aspect of Krishna consciousness. Srivas Prabhu, thank you very much. It's my great pleasure to have you with me as a teacher and my guide and many more things. Haribol. Sunil Krishna Prabhu, Haribol, I saw you here. Krishnam Prabhu is here? Yes, Krishnam Prabhu, please. Krishnam Prabhu is one of our Russian faculty member. And I said no, unity in diversity, right? We don't speak Russian in Bangla, right? In Bengali? Bangla devotee, do you speak Russian? No, we don't speak. But we have Russian faculty of running in Mayapur Institute. So the Sunil Krishna Prabhu is the coordinator, and our Krishna is the teacher. We have got other teachers of Devakinandan Prabhu, Mahadev Prabhu. He is our Chaitanya Chandracharan Prabhu. They are not here with us because they are busy in bringing some devotee to some other program. So I would like to request Krishna Prabhu and Sunil Krishna Prabhu to receive their gifts and give your blessing to our Russian students so that they can utilize the knowledge what they have received under your leadership. This is the dakshina you are getting from the students. Also, we have got many wonderful teachers from Bangla faculty. As we know, we live in Bengal, we breathe Bengal. So Bengal is our heart. As you said, Prabhu mentioned this quote from Chaitanya Bhagavat, Na desha hoite lok Navadvipe jai. Navadvip predominantly speaks Bangla. So we also teach this course in Bangla. And at this point, I would like to request our Bangla faculty members to come forward and receive their gifts. But before I invite the teachers to receive their gifts, I would like to introduce you all His Grace Tarak Krishna Nam Prabhu. You know, Tarak Krishna Nam Prabhu, his business is from 4 a.m. in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. He is teaching, and only teaching. Since Prabhu joined with me, our Bangla section has made its success. Before, our Bangla program was not so vibrant, I would say. And under Prabhu's leadership, you can see all these teachers, they have been teaching, he has been coordinating, and he has been doing very, very wonderful service. So now let us request our teachers. Prabhuji is our kind of he is our Mayapur Institute man, but I wanted you to kind of know him, and of course his blessing is there with you all the time because you know his ongoing lessons from Mayapur Institute. So now I would like to request our Bangla faculty members who are not only from India but also from Bangladesh. Bangladesh is actually part of India. Some or other there, you know, because of some political reason there now there's a demarcation that there is a different country, but we don't see it like that, right? Do you see Bangladesh is separate from us? No. I am not able to hear it. No. So we have got many devotees from Bangladesh also. So I would like to request, let us start from Bangladesh. Subhanitai Prabhu. Our Mayapur Institute leader in Bangladesh, who is helping us to conduct this course here. He also conducts many programs there on behalf of Mayapur Institute. So Prabhu is here. So let us recognize Prabhu's contribution, and I am requesting Prabhu to receive the gift and also give blessing to the students so that they can effectively preach what they learn under the university. Teja Govinda Prabhu is here. Prabhu? No, he's not here. Okay. Then Gordhan Prabhu. Gordhan Prabhu is Mayapur Sankirtan leader. You see, this is how you see now. We have people. He is helping devotee to go out and distribute books. So Gordhan Prabhu is also one of our faculty members in Mayapur Institute. Prabhu is here. So please take the dakshina and blessing. And give your blessing to the students. Gordhan Prabhu. Now I would like to request Manigopal Prabhu. Manigopal Prabhu, please come forward. Oh, maybe he's busy with his office service. As you know, he works in JPS office, right? So Manigopal Prabhu is not here. Okay. Anandavardhan Prabhu is here? No, he's also not here. Many of them are kind of busy. Then, of course, our Padmanetra Prabhu, he's also a sannyas candidate. Prabhu teaches in Mayapur Institute. Also, from time to time, he always contacts me in many different things. So I appreciate Prabhu's association in my personal life. I feel very fortunate to have Padmanatra Prabhu as our teacher in Mayapur Institute to guide all of you. Padmanatra Prabhu, please come and give a blessing to the students. We have more than 70 faculty members. And only in Bharagavatam, additionally, more than 70 faculty members. That means if you add together, 140 faculty members today serving in Mayapur Institute to fulfill the dream of Srila Prabhupada to distribute his knowledge. Thank you all very much. So I would just beg your blessings, your kindness to okay, sorry. Okay, so we have got now Hamsa Krishna Prabhu is here. So I request Tara Krishna Prabhu, please come with Hamsa Krishna Prabhu. So they are also very close to each other. They are doing a lot of service in Bangladesh and in Mayapur. So I request both of them to take the Dakshina from students and then give their blessing to the students. Thank you. So the teachers who are not personally present here, we will try to send them the gift with their representatives. So thank you all devotees very much. Yes, please pray for us so that in Mayapur Institute will continue to serve you and future generations for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. So now the next stage of the program, I would like to invite His Grace Atul Krishna Prabhu to lead the program until completion.
And I just thank you for letting me honor all of you. I have an appointment.
Thank you so much, Rameshwar Prabhu.
This is my future.
Thank you, Rameshwar Prabhu. Thank you, Brajabilash Prabhu. Also, Subhakshana Prabhu, thank you. Subhakshana Prabhu, thank you so much for coming and gracing this occasion. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhu. Amra Shunichi Padmanayan Prabhu Srinukti Gaudadesh and Mohima. We heard the glories of Gaudadesh from Padmanayan Prabhu's mouth. Mahaprabhu, he ordered Nityananda Prabhu to preach in Bangladesh. Nityananda Agya Dilo Jao Gaudadesh. Anargo Premavakti Gauraho Prakashe. No other place Mahaprabhu particularly ordered the devotees to preach in apart from Gaudadesh. So it's a great honor of the Mayapur Institute to be able to today award the Gaudiya Vaishnav Pandit Gyan their Bhakti Vaibhav and Bhakti Shastri degrees. So we'll be calling out the respective graduates respectively and Apnara Ajmen, Apnara Chandramouli Shami Maharaj এবং Kavi Chandra Shami Maharaj হাত থেকে আপনারা certificate পেয়ে নেবেন. We request Kavi Chandra Shami Maharaj to kindly bestow the certificates upon the Gaudiya Vaishnav graduates. And just before that, because he wasn't present before, we called Krishna Vijay Prabhu. We like Krishna Vijay Prabhu to kindly come and receive his Bhakti Shastri certificate from Kavi Chandra Shami Maharaj. His Bhakti Vaibhav certificate. Krishna Vijay Raj Bhakti Vaibhav. And Ramrupa Prabhu, also Bhakti Vaibhav graduate. Ramrupa Prabhu, Bhakti Vaibhav. We request Hara Krishnanath আমাদের Bengali faculty their পরিচালক প্রত্যেক ভক্তদের নাম উনি পরিচয় দেবেন এবং আপনারা আসবেন আপনাদের সার্টিফিকেট থেকে নেবেন।
থ্যাংক ইউ প্রভু। আমি বল সুজন বন্ধু আপনারা একটু লাইন একটু আসার জন্য ছেড়ে দেবেন, লাইন দিয়ে সকলে আসবেন। তো প্রথমে আমি ভক্তি বৈভব যারা রয়েছেন এখানে অনেকেই রয়েছে,
we request those devotees who have been participating in the program up to this point, English and Russian speaking devotees, if you could kindly exit the kutir, because there's so many devotees of Bengali devotees waiting outside, they cannot enter. If you could kindly exit, you can wander around the gardens, and the prasadam will be served shortly. In the prasadam hall, you're most welcome to take a rest in the prasadam hall. If we can make some room, then we can make room and the Bengali graduates can enter and receive their degrees. Thank you.
Thank you. Can everyone wait 5 minutes just outside in front of the kutir? Those who are leaving, please keep at the place for those who are coming from the kitchen to come. And 5 minutes after, we will all proceed to the kitchen and feast. Thank you.
হরে কৃষ্ণ। ভক্তি বৈভব প্রথমে আমরা দেখি ভগবত কীর্তন প্রভু, গোপীপ্রিয় গোপাল প্রভু আসুন, তারপর আসবেন মহাবাহু গৌর প্রভু, লাইন দিয়ে আসুন, মহারাজ কাছে নিয়ে আপনারা গ্রহণ করুন, নন্দ গোপ কুমার প্রভু, মহাবাহু গৌর প্রভু, ওকে, নন্দ গোপ কুমার প্রভু, নিত্যানন্দ চৈতন্য প্রভু, শ্রীপাদ পদ্মমিত্র প্রভু, প্রবলা গৌরাঙ্গ প্রভু, প্রবলা গৌরাঙ্গ প্রভু, শ্রীবাস চরণ প্রভু, সুদামা কৃপা প্রভু, বিমল কৃষ্ণ প্রভু, বিমল কৃষ্ণ প্রভু, বিশ্বজিৎ প্রভু নেই না, বসুদেব সুজয় মাধব প্রভু নেই না, অনাথ বন্ধু গৌর প্রভু, আসুন আসুন, বনমালী কিঙ্কর প্রভু, বনমালী কিঙ্কর, সুমধুর গৌর প্রভু, আপনারা এদিকে এসে লাইন দেবেন, সুমধুর গৌর প্রভু, পুত্র প্রভু, বসুদেব পুত্র, রাজ কানাই প্রভু, বসুদেব পুত্র প্রভু আসুন, গৌর গদাই প্রভু নেই, শান্তনু প্রভু নেই, আচ্ছা, মধুর নিতাই, শান্তনু প্রভু আসুন এখান থেকে, শান্তনু প্রভু, মধুর নিতাই প্রভু নেই, বিদুর হরি প্রভু, বিদুর হরি প্রভু, শুভ বিজয় প্রভু, শুভ বিজয় প্রভু, শুভ বিজয় প্রভু উপস্থিত নেই, আচ্ছা, সুদর্শন চক্রধারী প্রভু প্রভু আছেন, প্রবীর প্রভু। সুনন্দ কেশব নেই। সত্যবাগ গুরু প্রভু নেই। সুশান্ত শ্রীবাস, সুশান্ত শ্রীবাস। শাশ্বত শ্যাম প্রভু নেই। পরমেশ্বর কৃষ্ণ প্রভু, সুচিত্রা কেশবী মাতাজি, সুচিত্রা কেশবী মাতাজি আসুন। আত্মারাম কৃষ্ণ প্রভু নেই। দয়াচন্দ্র হরি প্রভু আসুন।